Yeah.
Fix your hair.
minutes.
Fix your hair. Fix your hair.
Fix my bra.
Fix your bra. Good morning, everyone. This is
there.
MJ Porches.
And this is John Lillywhite.
And this is Real Estate
Unboxed.
Unboxed. We are excited to be out and about today. It's a beautiful day
Yes,
to
it
be out
is.
and about.
Except we just had to re-record because we had a stupid helicopter that was coming right over, filming us as it was going on. Well, probably not filming us, but we were part of
But
it.
they were filming something.
Yeah,
That's the
they
whole
were.
point. And so we've been talking about unboxing this topic for a while. It's
Yeah,
a
we
big topic. I think all of our topics are big in and of itself just because we're bringing about, scenarios, situations, circumstances that we go through in everyday life. Everyday life, things that we deal with as real estate professionals or anybody in the value chain.
And particularly this topic.
Particularly this topic. So we're smiling right now.
Yeah, you better.
And you should always be smiling because you are on camera.
Dun,
Smile.
dun, dun, dun.
And I think you're also being heard nowadays with everything that's
Yes.
going on.
Yeah.
So,
It's just
we
as bad.
need to be really mindful because it's changed the way that we've done business. I don't know how long ago it was that it became the norm for us to have all of these cameras just record you and everyone just be okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, and understand that it was out there. It's just become this norm. And when we go out and about, I don't think we realize how much and how often everything that we say and we do is just going to come back to us, or it can be used against us in a way that maybe we could feel uncomfortable. And so we want to bring this heightened awareness in a smile, you're on camera unboxing this topic, and talk about the pros and cons and kind of ask ourselves, how has it changed the way that you do business?
You mean with regards to the seller doing a listing, for example?
Sellers agents, buyers agents,
buyers,
lenders,
sellers.
buyers,
Yeah.
sellers.
Okay.
How are we advising them? How have we changed? How is it making us feel? Are you different in the way that you work when you go out and about and do things? Of course you are. I mean, there's no doubt. Some people could say, I could give a hoot. Others are like, oh, no. I completely changed the way that I consult with my clients and tell them this is what's happening, or be aware. Even as a lender, anybody in the value chain.
Exactly.
Inspectors are being watched. Roofers are being watched. We're being watched as consumers here. Zoom changed everything.
You're being recorded on
because
Zoom?
you're being recorded in everything that you do, which
Well-
is why some people turn off their cameras.
Well, and I think that's, when it comes to a Zoom perspective, and then I'm going to offer a contrast that I think might be meaningful. On Zoom, when you're in a Zoom meeting, it says you're now being recorded, and there's a little tag that's on the screen. So you're being
disclaimer.
recorded.
Disclaimer.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. But now, look at a situation if you are a buyer. The scenario, let's get specific scenario.
Okay.
And you're a buyer, and you're going in to see a house, a listing.
Yeah.
Those houses more often than not have cameras, and some of those houses have hidden cameras, and some of them have hidden microphones.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Right.
Backyard, front yard, driveway,
Bathrooms,
bathrooms,
bedrooms,
garages, bedrooms. Yeah, everywhere.
Now they don't live this way, but I think that there are some sellers out there that say, I'm going to pop in all these cameras while the listing episodes are going on, right?
Sure.
And phases
Sure,
of that
sure.
one, and then I'm going to pop them all down. But boy,
You mean the showings of buyers coming in and out,
Yes,
right?
right.
And I think the pros of that are obviously for safety, for their protection,
Right,
for
of
the
course.
whole reality of theft.
I'll
Anything
do
happening to my house,
Right.
right? A lot of people are coming in and out. I mean, the pandemic changed a lot of things. Just
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
hey, who's coming in? We started to ask people certain things, and people were writing things. Now,
Yep.
the whole idea of nobody's telling you all the time that you're being recorded. No one's always going to put a disclaimer or a plaque out there and say, smile, you're on camera. They're not
right.
going to just say that. So I think we just want to unbox, the purpose of awareness, but also how has that changed how we work?
I think it's changed it fundamentally, because look at the behavior. I mean, it's a really interesting thought experiment. You go into a house that you know for a fact is being recorded. Now
if I know for a fact.
Well, okay, there's the first one.
If.
My assumption is that I will be from this point forward.
There you go.
Right. So
That's how it's changed.
That's
right?
how
we,
it's
we
changed.
all know, I think, now we're being recorded. And
I'm
watched.
being recorded. That's my assumption that I'm going to make. And the thing that scares me about that is now, because it's in private property, and there's a
Yeah.
couple lawsuits that are showing a precedent that once it's on private property, like your home, you can pretty much do what you want, and you don't have to grant access. You don't need to let them know that it's being done, right?
Right. Now, we looked it up. Anybody can Google it, and we're not attorneys, nor
No.
do we ever want to pretend that we are. But we can all Google stuff and look things up.
Right.
They say it's not illegal to put hidden cameras in your home
Absolutely.
at all.
So
So if
assume
it's
that you've got it
hidden-
going on.
If it's hidden, I don't have to tell you that it's there.
Nope.
Right?
And I can put them anywhere. But the thing that scares me, we were talking about this before, is now I'm forever. I walked into your yard.
Forever.
They have that recording. They have the audio and the video recording of me in that house forever.
Yeah.
Now, I might have been on my best behavior, and I'm sure that we would be,
Sure,
right? We're
as we
walking
should
on, we're
always
seeing
be, right?
houses,
But
and
things happen.
things happen. And even if they don't, I want to make sure that if I'm being recorded in a hidden environment,
Yep.
I guess I have to be okay with that. That's this weird thing that's going on.
yeah.
If I don't want to be okay with that, what's my alternative? Don't go to the listing.
Don't go. Or
Right?
don't go to that house.
Don't
'cause
go
you
to
just
that
don't,
house.
You don't even know now, right?
Exactly.
You don't even know now. But it's also changed. If we do know, yes, we're on our best behavior. But when we don't know that we are, how are we behaving? And how are you consulting your clients? We're talking right now about buyers. I mean, there are properties
yeah.
where they are, fully furnished and people are living there. And then there are vacant properties.
Mhm.
One way or the other, right? You can be watched. You are being heard. People, can see everything that you're doing. So how are you telling your clients, I want you to be aware that, whatever you say could end up affecting maybe if you decide to write an offer.
Right.
And I want you to, sadly, hold back your enthusiasm.
Oh man.
I mean, I think
right?
it's created a lot of sterile communication
Yes.
where I really love this house, but don't say anything because crap, then it'll look like I really want it and I'm trying to still negotiate.
Right.
Right? I don't want to be overly enthusiastic that they
Exactly.
think, see, they really want it bad. Look at how much she said she loved the bedroom and that this was perfect and that
Yeah.
was perfect or whatever. Then no, I'm not going to make my changes or adjust
Yeah.
because I saw or heard what she said.
So now let's look at the sequence of time here. Let's say that you do go in and you say, oh, I love this pool, or that they really need to clean their bathroom, or whatever it is, right?
Oh my God,
you've got all
it smells in here.
Exactly.
It smells
They
like
got
this, that, or
dogs or something.
dogs, and
So,
it smells like cigarettes.
Think about this. It's not necessarily recording, because you know that the seller is out someplace. They're in a mall, or they're doing something with their kids.
Oh, no.
Or they're sitting at Starbucks
no.
watching
Like
what's
we
going
are.
on live on the phone.
Exactly.
So you are live, you are real time, and you have to assume that that's what's going on.
And watch
And
right here.
you're sitting
anything
there
that's
and
going
you're
on in my
having
house.
a beer and a coffee, and you're watching what's going on in every room in your house. Because I can click to the living room, I can click to the dining room, I can click to the bathroom, I can click everywhere.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we watch the ring changed a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, of course, you can talk to somebody through that ring,
Yep.
right? And you can see who's even taking stuff from your house and things like that. So
Right.
it's changed the way we work. It's changed, I think, our way of communicating,
Yep.
where before the buyer could just express themselves so freely about how they feel about the property or whatever it is, right? And even yourself, I have a couple of stories where they go back to, I mean, we're 2022, so this goes back to around 2016, 2017, where I got a phone call from a seller and they were like, I want to speak to the managing broker, I'm very upset, blah, 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 and this was a seller, and there was an open house that had happened over the weekend, and they had a situation where a bird came into the house and
love it.
made a mess because the bird was trying to find their way out, made a mess and couldn't find their way out. Things fell everywhere, there was furniture everywhere, it was a mess. Anyway, their question was, I want to know, why they left the window open and why they did not
Oh
close
my
the window when they knew
God.
very well we did not have a screen. And we want to know what happened. We really, would like this addressed and we want this taken care of because there's damage to our house, okay?
Okay,
Needless
fair
to
enough.
say,
Yeah.
I had to approach the 2 agents that had done the open house. I approached the agents and I just said, hey, do you remember leaving the window open at the open house at such and such? And they were like, we didn't leave the the window open. We never opened the window. We didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Well, what do you think the seller said? I've got him
Got
on
it on
camera. And I heard everything that they said. They left the window open. They forgot to lock my back door, and they're paying for everything. I didn't tell the agent that. I wanted them to tell me what happened, and instead they lied. Then I had to tell them, this is a true story, John. Then I had to tell them, you were caught on camera. They heard everything. I'm really sorry, but the damage is over $2,000, and you're going to have to pay for it.
Oh, wow.
And not only did they turn red, apologize, felt horrible about the fact that they lied about it, but you guys, see, now you can't lie about this
Nope,
stuff.
nope, it's forever.
It's forever.
Yep. And I mean, there's a couple of examples of people who have attempted to sue sellers
About what?
about
Oh,
recording
now
me.
we're suing a seller. Is
We're
this a
suing
consumer?
a seller. It's a buyer that says, hey, you know, you recorded everything in my house. Or you recorded everything, and now I'm part of that recording, and I'm going to sue you because I wasn't authorized. So we talked about this before, but the fact of the matter is that the sellers are winning these
Wow.
lawsuits
well,
now.
Sure.
And so sellers are using that as catalysts and justification for going out there and making these recordings so that they can protect their properties.
Yeah.
So that they can catch buyers in lies. And it's not so much that there's a lot of lying that goes on out there.
Or just
Right?
for protection. I mean, well, what was your story though?
You mean that she was...
Because you're saying there was a lawsuit.
Yeah, there was a lawsuit. The lawsuit that I read, it was in New York. It was a couple of years ago. And she was using the bathroom.
Jeez.
And found a camera. And you would think that one is private in a bathroom, right? And it's not that way, which I think is another one of those aha scary moments, right? Of
Wow.
now, if you
Wow.
need to use a restroom, you better assume, just
So-
like you're in the living room, you have to assume that that bathroom has a camera in it now. That's where
Okay.
my prescription meds are.
Okay,
for
so, and that's another part of how we change how we talk to people. If you need to use a restroom, we go up to a public place before, or please know we won't be using restrooms.
Yes.
You know, when we go see property, don't ask to use the seller's restroom or the homeowner's restroom.
Right.
Okay, just
Don't
be
do that.
aware. People are, and why would you have to say that? You would think that that's kind of like common sense, but I think we have to speak up about
I
it.
think we do. And I think that that's really what it comes down to is if I'm representing a buyer, I have to have that conversation and say, listen, buyer, assume that that house is being recorded and everything that is in it is now forever.
It
Now,
is
if you don't
forever.
want to see it, that's the time, this is the responsibility of the agent, right?
Right.
To say,
right,
if you don't want to see it and you're uncomfortable there, I can't tell them to turn their cameras off because they're not going to.
Right.
Right? But you now have to consider whether or not you want to buy a house because they're going to be recorded. Everything we see is assume it's being recorded.
Assume it's being
That
recorded.
is the state of, I guess psychologically, that's the biggest game changer to me when I'm
It's
looking for a
huge,
house.
It's huge.
Is that I'm being recorded when I step onto the driveway
Yep.
and when I step out. And you had mentioned this before, and this is really important, I think. There is an experience of looking at a house. Oh, honey, I
Yes.
love that.
I
I love the
wanna
vaulted
express.
ceiling. I love the pool. I don't like that. And you want to express it. There's the dollar. There's a magic that goes on. And now I have to wait until I'm in my freaking car?
I mean,
Oh,
it's not like you
man.
can't express yourself. I think it's more of, if I do, are you okay with how much expression that you gave, and will it at all be detrimental in any negotiating? That's all. I think you need to ask yourself.
That's a
that.
really
if you're
good point.
okay with that, then be okay with it. Like, be okay with it. Just like you're gonna have to be okay with the fact that we're sitting here and we're being recorded. Just like we're recording, we don't know who might be around us, and they're
Right.
just gonna be in the video. Right now, consequently, we have people all in front of us.
Right.
And there's nobody behind us.
We have an audience, by the way.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
probably 50, 60 people that are watching us. Hi, everybody.
My hair is going wacky and it's bugging me, so can you fix it? Anyway, where does it go?
I think it goes
See,
there.
and even that, we're always being, we don't know what you look like. So purpose is of the smile on camera too is awareness.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
How has it changed the way you work? How does it make you feel? Has it changed the way it makes you feel as a seller's agent, a buyer's agent, a lender, an inspector, a roofer? You're going onto somebody else's property. Does it make you feel more apprehensive? Are you hesitant? Are you holding back from just a lot of things? Even wanting to speak to your client about certain things. We used to go, to vacant properties and say, okay, we're going to end at the vacant property because there we can write offers. We would sit there and talk about the entire tour of 6 to 8
All the
properties,
different
and we would
houses.
end at the vacant property because we weren't bothering anybody.
Right.
And we would just sit there and have full-on conversation, John, about how do you feel about house number 1, number 2, which one would you like to write an offer on? How are you feeling? I've run some comp. You can't do that there.
Can't do that now because, vacant properties only mean there's no furniture.
That's right.
It does nothing to do with no cameras. Okay?
That's right. So I think the way it may make people feel, and let me ask you guys, because, I'd love to get your feedback, is do you feel like now there's an invasion of your privacy, or have you just accepted that your privacy will always be invaded? Is there a new acceptance on this invasion of privacy?
I think that you hit the nail on the head, MJ. I think that at least right now, we're probably overthinking it, but we're justifiable in overthinking it, okay? But I would say in the next couple of years, I agree. I think that people are going to find and I hate this, a new normal, where they're
so
going to...
much new normal.
I know, and they're going to walk into a place, they're not going to mention anything, they're going to be sterile, and if they do want to have a conversation, it's kind of thing they're going to be talking about. Oh, that's kind of ridiculous because that's not how human experiences work.
Right.
But
right.
I do believe that it's going to change things fundamentally, and the entire experience. If there was anything positive about going and seeing listings in the first place, which not necessarily is it always an enjoyable thing. You're traveling through different maps and different houses and arguing with your spouse and your kids, and the kids got to go to the bathroom.
Oh my God, kids do things. I've had kids do things. I've had kids do things. Thank goodness those things were never recorded. But
now they will be.
Now they will be. So,
I have to stop you.
What? Don't make me tell that story.
No. That's okay.
That's another story.
I never thought about this. If I've got kids, how do you tell a kid that's 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 or 10, Billy, you're being recorded. You need to behave. Really? I don't see it. I don't see a kid caring at all about that.
So is our conversation different with clients that have children?
Of course they are.
It should be. It should be. It should be because there are people that don't want their children recorded. They don't want their children on camera. They don't want that to be. My next thing about pros and cons are held against you. How can anything that you do or say when you're at someone's home be held against you?
Wow.
I'm
never going into a listing ever again.
we can say the wrong thing by accident, and I we're videotaping this. I can edit something out if I make a boo-boo. But when you're live and they're watching you right here, I've got cameras all over my house. My husband would be on vacation and go, I can see exactly what you're doing and saying. I can talk to you, scare the crap out of you.
Yep.
So how can it be held against you? And, we could be recording right now and somebody could be, our microphone could pick something up that somebody else is saying and they don't want to be recorded. I think that's the whole thing about smile because it's happening.
Yeah.
And, the other thing is we talked about the sterile way of going into properties and expressing ourselves. There's this lack of expression. You're forever in a vault now, no matter what you do and say. Same thing with Zoom, even though Zoom is part of consultation that we do with our sellers and our buyers. All that's being recorded.
Right.
You of course should let them know. But it's out of our control. The con is
it's out of our control.
This is out of our control.
Yeah. I think that's key. Is if it's out of our control, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Unauthorized then gets a little creepy. Okay? And that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
For most of the time, we know we're in a public setting. There's cameras everywhere. We're usually not in a place that is going to pick up a recording, and we're not doing things because we're in public
right
that are unusual.
Well, you're minding your P's and Q's, though.
Exactly.
I think so much differently today in the way that we work because, you know, we've got all these apps. I mean, I can just quickly press voice memo and be recording everything that we're
that's
talking
true.
about, and we're really not supposed to do that.
We're not
the law
supposed to do
says
that,
you're
yeah.
supposed to tell them if they're
Yeah.
being recorded. But yet, I don't think people care.
No, I don't think they do
I
either.
don't think they care.
I mean,
This is why people are getting caught doing crazy, funny things. You could be turned into a meme.
yeah.
Do you want to be a meme? I don't want to
And
be a
you
meme.
typically don't
My hair
want
is
to.
bothering me, John. You gotta fix my hair.
I'm
I'm having a funky day with hair.
That
Anyway,
third day.
because see,
No,
you
her
can
hair
get
looks
caught.
fine.
You can get caught. You know, doing whatever
Oh,
you're doing.
yeah.
You know, scratching where you shouldn't be scratching. I just think that awareness is more prevalent today as professionals. Our job is to help our clients and heighten the awareness when we go out.
Absolutely.
We are supposed to. I believe that is an ethical job of ours to bring that heightened awareness to everybody so that they can be like, I'm so glad you reminded me because I wasn't even thinking about that. Shoot, I don't want to say the wrong thing to my spouse or significant other when I'm out and about saying something that you're right, that could end up affecting the way we negotiate.
Absolutely.
You know, the minute you walk into a listing presentation, seller's agent, listing agent, are they recording everything that you said? And then they can come back and say, no, that's not what you said. You said that you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and now you didn't do it. It may not have been in writing, but you did say that. I do remember that. Because actually, I have cameras all over my house, and it just automatically records.
Correct.
To know that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the way of working now. I think the other thing is, how can recording, we talked about it, I'll just bring it up, because I really loved how you brought this up. Could it hurt someone else? We were just said that if my camera was here and we were picking up somebody else's conversation, morally just.
Yeah, is it just the right thing to do, right?
Share a
Yeah.
little bit about your morally just and just smiling on camera.
I mean, when we were doing this, kind of setting everything up, figuring out what we were going to talk about, behind us, right here, there's this seat on the other side.
Yeah.
And you could see that there were some kids that were over there. And they didn't know that they were being recorded.
Yeah, it was a group of people. They were just
Now, we're in a public environment, but in terms of it being the right thing to do, the morally just thing to do I get up and I say, listen, this is being recorded and we're in public, so we can do it. I just want to make sure that you were aware so that if you wanted to move, you could, okay? I suppose that from a seller's perspective,
Yeah.
from a listing perspective, and anybody that's in the profession where we have the right to record
We do.
something.
We do.
Because we do. We have the right to
We do.
record in places, as long as we explain it to people, or if it's in someone else's house.
right.
But there's nothing wrong with the listing agent and seller, specifically you two. If you're going to record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with putting out a placard. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I
Putting out
wanted you.
the
I
placard
wanted you to say that
To
because
say, every room in this house has a camera. Now that might weird some people out, but you know what? As a seller, I'm okay with that. If you want to go into my bathroom, you can take a look in the bathroom. You open up the drawer and you look at the prescription meds, or you look at all the stuff in there and you now turn it into highly personalized. You're on camera.
what's wrong with that, Lise? I think that's the morally just part of courtesy, and when we
Yep,
can
yep.
help our sellers do that to make people feel just a little bit more comfortable about wanting to come in. Now, how does that make them feel more comfortable? Number one, it's awareness. At least you told me. I appreciate you telling me, so I can
100%.
keep my comments to myself. This hidden thing, that's where that invasion of privacy feels so. You invaded
Get it.
my ability to just express myself the way I wanted to.
Right. Right.
And maybe I don't want to take my little boy in, or I don't want to take grandma in who tends to shoot off the mouth, or Uncle Bob or whatever
think about
who
it.
just goes off and he might say the wrong thing, and
Yeah.
he ruined my opportunity of getting this property because he would just say the wrong thing. He doesn't care. And then that ends up hurting the seller's point of view
Sure.
about my offer, because they're going to remember me, or maybe they don't know my names, but I don't know. They remember I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I think that's it, right? That's the
it.
whole thing. And let's see, what else did we write
I
down?
think that was it.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
When you're on camera, the truth comes out. getting caught doing something you shouldn't be doing, saying something you shouldn't say. But at the end of the day, who you are and who you are, how you're portraying yourself
Yep.
is always being watched.
Yep. I mean, sadly, when it comes
That's
to
the
it,
truth. The
we're-
truth comes out.
you and I are looking at a house. We love something. We want to express it because that's the kind of emotionally charged people we are. We love this. We love that. Those are truthful comments. But sometimes the truth can be held against you. It's almost like that Miranda law, right? You have the right to
Yeah.
remain silent because anything you say can and will be used against you when you're buying this house. That is the takeaway. That's the takeaway from our perspective is don't
Yeah.
lose the magic. Just understand that a little bit of that magic can be used against you because someone's,
sucks.
oh, it sucks. It does.
It really
Welcome
sucks.
to our new world.
Yeah, welcome to our new world that's been around for a long,
know.
I think it's been around a lot longer than we think,
Yeah.
but it's become the new normal. It is the way of working. It's not going to change, you
No.
guys. I think it's going to enhance, actually. I don't know how, but I believe that it will. Somehow, some way. I think we have to learn how to behave and how to work and how to
Yeah.
consult with our customers that much more when we speak to them about when we go out and about.
Yep.
Obviously, there's some pros to it: safety, protection. You know, if somebody falls on your property and it got caught on camera, you know, do you need that for insurance purposes? You know, so
Yeah.
there's pros to having cameras.
There is.
There's
there
cons
is.
to having cameras, and these cameras are now, you are being heard.
Yeah,
So it's not going to
they're
go away,
everywhere.
John.
Nope, it's not going away. You got to deal with it and, you know, just use it in a way that can be beneficial. Just be careful,
Well, be
right?
careful. I mean, you know, we're promoting ourselves a lot.
Uh-huh.
We do our selfies. There's all kinds of people walking around. You never know if you're going to get caught on camera. And you could
Yeah.
become a meme, so watch what you're doing. You just never know that you might be getting caught on camera no matter where you are out
Yeah,
and
that's
about.
right.
But be mindful that our sellers and our buyers need our consultation
Yeah.
on how to behave, how to let other people know if it's being done. I think we can do a lot better in sharing with them
100%. I
whatever
mean, just-
side they're on, and vendors and all of that. I think that we as the professional need to raise up how to tell people
Yeah. And
how to behave.
Just setting
New way of
levels of
working, new
expectation.
way of being.
I mean, you would certainly. Maybe that's a great way to wrap it up because it's kind of funny. It's a goofy thing, right?
Okay.
One scenario is this: you tell your buyer that, oh, by the way, you're going to be recorded. All right, there's cameras all over this house, cameras all over the
Yep.
yard. Okay, and that's one scenario, right? So you know you're going to behave differently, right? And the other scenario is this: don't tell your buyer there's cameras all over the place until you're done. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there's
Oh,
cameras
crap.
all over the.
Crap! Did I say that?
Right?
Did I do that? Did
Did
they
I do
catch
that?
me doing that? And see, I think if we don't do it, you know, you
I
can
know.
actually upset someone.
Oh.
I think you could lose a client over it.
100%. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Just
I think
close,
you
just
could lose
close,
a
just
client
close.
over
If
it.
you know that there's cameras on that property, do not. I don't know why one would want to keep it a secret anyways.
Yeah.
But if there's cameras there, by God, let people know.
Say something.
There you go. And then
say
smile.
something. Just say something. So our thing is we're going to smile and deal with it because it's not going away. However, you need to change the way you speak to people and how you consult with others. You know, help your client so that they don't get caught in a situation where they feel that you didn't give them the best information so that they could behave properly.
Exactly.
Right?
So
And
smile.
smile,
You're on
deal with
camera.
it. You're on camera, and they're hearing everything you say. Don't become a meme. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See
Have
you
a
later.
great day. Peace.
Bye.